like he told in this particular case, where he introduced them. He said, "Here, I want to introduce you to Carol. She's sitting out here in the courtroom, and we'll tell you about her and when she met Bob." Now, one other thought too, as I look at this, some other elements, we're looking at placement of screens and so on, but then we're also looking at ambient light and even how this light might start to take away the brightness of this screen. So you're also wanting to be aware of how bright the projectors are, the lighting, and what control you might have over all those elements. So he starts telling the story then about how Carol and Bob were both single, late in their lives, hadn't expected to meet anybody at this stage in their lives until Carol's daughter introduced her to Bob on a blind date, and they hit it off. And pretty soon they were going on dates, they were going on this bicycle ride together, and pretty soon Bob proposed to Carol, and they got married. And they lived happily together for 11 months until something happened that changed everything forever. Bob died of a heart attack, leaving a hole in Carol's heart. Right, so as Jim was mentioning earlier, we're starting this off with some just interesting, compelling story. Every family has taken family photos like this. Then as you're telling the story, again, this is all in this seamless way without me ever even looking back at the screen because, I would have this teleprompter here. So he's telling the story, suddenly the background changes, something different is happening, and now we're verbally and visually, rhetorically reframing this case away from a product liability case to what kind of story has a chalk outline? CSI, murder mystery. You and the jury get to be like CSI detectives. You get to sort through all the evidence and figure out what killed Bob. All the evidence is going to point to a pharmaceutical company that knew its drug increased its risk of heart attacks, but they didn't tell Bob, they didn't tell his doctor. You're going to see how that led to his heart attack, but we're not going to get into the detail of that yet, because you're going to hear two sides of the story, and it's going to be up to you to find justice for Mrs. Ernst. And you can do that by following the three parts of this case. It's about a company that had motive, a company that had means, and how the motive and means come together to kill Bob Ernst. So again, this distillation, this one slide is distilling down the 6 million documents. It's distilling down the complexity of the science behind heart attacks, behind the drug, and making this easy to understand and follow to the jurors. That small window of opportunity at the start to grab people's attention, this is making it really easy and making it easy to understand for the jurors.